What is going on, guys? It is Daniel Wright, and you are here listening to another episode of Paving the Way. Happy Wednesday to you, or whatever day it is you're listening to this. I hope it's a good day for you. As always, guys, I appreciate you tuning in for another episode. This week, I'm wanting to talk on the topic of imposter syndrome. All right. I'm going to be trying to get a little bit more real, a little bit more raw with you guys as we're kind of diving into this year. We've all kind of gotten past the holidays and the excitement, and everything's all great and wonderful. And now we're into February, and everybody's ready to just get into the year. Let's see what 2025 have in store for us. Let's see what opportunities we can uncover. Let's see what growth and achievements we can accomplish. But that's not going to come without its challenges, right? And for probably the majority of you who are listening to this, you're trying to go somewhere. You're trying to grow. You're trying to progress. And with that's going to be feelings that you're not qualified, that you're not capable. And so today I want to kind of just talk about a few little tidbits on that topic of just some things that I've encountered, some things that I've learned along the way, and hopefully some things that can help you as you progress. So with that being said, let's get started. All right, guys. All right. Like I said, today what I am wanting to talk a little bit about is imposter syndrome, right? Anybody who's not living under a rock and has tried to progress and grow themselves has experienced this in one way or another. Whether it's you got a promotion at work that you weren't really expecting because the other person quit or got fired and you just all of a sudden became, in their position and you're like, holy cow, what am I doing here? Whether it's that you went out and started your own business because you want to be an entrepreneur, you wanted to build your own life, create your own destiny, and you got into it and you're like, holy cow, I had no idea what we're doing. But yet I got to show up every day and look like I do, right? We've all heard the saying, fake it till you make it. I don't necessarily believe in fake it till you make it because you don't really have any sort of a defined making it, right? There is a point to that says, hey, you got to just show up. You got to, fill the role. You got to do your best and you got to be confident while you're doing it. Sure. But fake it till you make it, I think, is a little bit of a lost cause. I don't think that there's a lot of progress being made there. I don't think it's going to get you where you want to go. However, acknowledging and understanding what imposter syndrome is and when to expect it and how to kind of overcome it is something that's going to get you there. So my point in all this is, as you're growing and as you're progressing, every new level that you achieve and you accomplish and you get to, whether it's personally or professionally, just every stage of growth that you have, you're going to find new insecurities because you've never been there before, right? I tell people that in my business, every day that I show up to work, I can honestly say I don't really know fully what I'm doing today because I've never had the business today that I have right now, right? Because we constantly grow, we progress, we change, we evolve as a company. And so therefore, what I have to deal with today, the things I have to go through today are not going to always be the same thing that I had to do yesterday or last week or last month or last year. And so there comes a level where you're growing and you're progressing. And as you're achieving these new accomplishments and these new levels in your life, you have insecurities that say, hey, I don't really know what I'm doing here. I gotta just figure it out. I gotta step through it 1 foot in front of the other and just keep on facing forward and make the progress that I know I need to make. But when you find the new insecurities, the biggest thing I found to do is just embrace them. Just be honest about them, right? We don't make excuses for them. We don't try to mask them. We don't try to fake it and cover it up. We just own them. And I've found that it makes it a whole lot easier because when I own the insecurities that I have, to my friends, to my colleagues, to my peers, to my team, whatever it may be, 99.9999% of the time, the people that I'm owning those to and that I'm talking to about them, they're on board with helping me overcome them. They're on board with helping me make that progress and that progression and learn what I need to learn, know what I need to know to get past this next level. And it's great because the people you have around you, as long as they're good people, they want to see you win. And so if you embrace the insecurities as you're achieving new levels, those people are happy for you. They're happy that you're winning. They're happy that you're progressing. They're happy that you're moving forward. And so the fact that you're vulnerable and open with them about those insecurities, they're going to be more willing to help you. I can tell you right now that the support team that I have at our company is second to none, right? Because I've built a culture around my belief that says, we're going to be honest here. We're going to be transparent here. We're going to be real. We're going to deal with real life as it comes and as it happens, because we really don't have a choice, right? There's plenty of companies and organizations out there that, right when you walk in the door, it's like you're walking into Disneyland and everything's perfect and everything's wonderful and everything's great. But then all of a sudden you open one of the office doors up and you got somebody staring at a computer screen like they're trying to read a foreign language. You open another door up and you overhear a conversation that someone's talking to their spouse on the phone and say, hey, I have no idea what I'm doing today. I'm so freaking stressed. But if you walk into our organization, because of what we've built here, you hear real conversations. You walk into an office and someone's willing to just look at you and say, hey man, can you help me with this? I don't know. I don't really know what I'm doing here. I need to get this figured out. I'm trying to work on this. I have this issue come up that I haven't yet had to deal with. Working through this problem, whatever it might be. So you have to just know and understand that every new level that you achieve, you will find new insecurities. And the best way to handle those absolutely is to face them head on and own them 100%. And the only way that you're going to get through those new levels in life and that you're going to progress is that you have to go through those uncharted territories, right? The old saying is, calm seas never made a skilled sailor, right? So you're going to go through uncharted waters and uncharted territories that are going to be very rough. They're going to be very challenging, that are going to make you second guess is this worth it, right? We've all been there before where we ask ourselves, like, is this really freaking worth it? Like, what did I get myself into? Why did I sign up for this? There's got to be a better way, an easier way, whatever it might be. But the reality is, if you're like me and you want to have a life that is worth living and that is meaningful and that makes a difference in the time you're here on this earth, the uncharted territories are what makes you become that person to have that kind of impact, right? You're going to go through the difficult challenges, the rough waters, and become somebody who can handle that. And eventually you're going to become somebody who can lead other people through those same uncharted territories because you had the experience, because you were brave, and that you had the courage to keep pushing through when everything around you told you to give up, right? I've had some conversations with some different folks recently in business. And so far this year, everybody's I've been talking to has had a good start to the year, right? From a business standpoint, there's opportunity out there. Clients are willing to look at projects that maybe they weren't looking at previously. There's just things are good from an economic standpoint. But one of the common themes that I'm noticing amongst my friend group is that there seems to be this commonality of everybody just is kind of raising standards, raising expectations, holding people accountable that need to be held accountable. And I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just happen to be like paired up with people going through the same, stages of business that I am. But it's really interesting because the difficulties that we're facing right now isn't about getting the work done. It's not about how do we, what software to use or what verbiage to put on here. It's about leading people. It's about holding people accountable. It's about, do we have the right person in the right seat? Is our organization set up for scaling and for growth and for success? These are the challenges that a lot of my friends are facing right now. But it's interesting because everybody's going through the same type of thing, right? It's the same uncharted territories, just in each individual business. And so getting to have these conversations with other individuals, wherever they may be at, whether it's a team of 2 or a team of, 102, everybody's going through the scaling. Everybody's going through the challenges. And it makes me realize that, if I make sure to look at the challenges and look at the obstacles that I'm facing right now as just challenges, just obstacles, just difficulties, and I don't try to assign ownership to being my challenges, my obstacles, or my difficulties, the way I look at them is way more productive, right? Because this is just a challenge that I'm responsible for handling right now. This is just a difficulty that I'm responsible for getting through, an obstacle that I'm responsible for getting past, right? Because when they become mine, they become internalized. They become, they have an emotional attachment to it. But if they're just a issue, a challenge, a obstacle, or an obstacle, sorry, pardon my improper English there. If they become just an obstacle to overcome, then you just deal with it. There is no emotional repercussions to it. You just deal with it. You figure it out. You put in the effort. You put in the work, the reps, whatever it may be, and you get through it. And so, like I said, the fact that there's other businesses that are all different sizes, different industries, whatever it might be, that are all going through the growing pains, the challenges, reminds me that if we want to progress and go through advancing in life, that there will be the uncharted territories. And no matter how far down the line you get, as long as you're growing, there will constantly be the points of time that you don't really know what you're doing, that you're kind of trying to figure out how to get past this. And when everybody's looking to you for that confidence and that leadership, and you have to show up confident, but you can confidently not know what you're doing. You can confidently be vulnerable with the team that you have around you and say, look, I need some help. I need some ideas here. And I think my willingness to be vulnerable like that to my team has allowed us to build a place that the team has faith and confidence in us, not because I've sold them I know what I'm doing here. I know I'm a professional. I know this, I know that. It's because they know I'm a real person with real goals and real ambitions and real concerns and real insecurities and real drive, just like they are. And so the team is able to relate, right? Like we may have different goals in life. We may have different, ambitions of what we want to accomplish with our time. But nonetheless, we're just real people trying to get through life. And so it allows us to have a culture and a bond with each other that is a little bit different than what some organizations have, where there's this separation of people thinking that the ones at the top of the organization have it all figured out. Because fun fact, guys, in case you haven't noticed, the people at the top are just the same as you are. They just have different challenges. They have different obstacles. And so getting through all these things and through the uncharted territory is what allows us to build that confidence to be able to lead the other people through their version of uncharted territories, which leads me to my last point. There's a saying that I've heard recently. Most recently, it's from Ed Milet. I've heard him say it before. He said, you are most qualified to lead the person you used to be. And recently, I was on a call with Top Contractor School, and there's some new members of the group. And I was looking at some of the faces on there, and I'm like, man, like this is awesome. Because now, me being 8 years into my current business, I'm looking at people who are only 2 to 3 years into theirs. And I hear them talking about things, the challenges, the questions, the difficulties that they're facing, right? Like I was just talking about earlier. And I'm like, I think I can help this person. I think I could help this person make it just a little bit easier for them than maybe what I had it when I went through it, right? Because that's the whole goal of this show that you're listening to right now or that you're watching, paving the way. We want to pave the way for the next generations, the next people that are coming down this path behind us, not give them an easy route, but at least make it a little bit more smooth than what we had it. And so I'm looking at these people on the screen on the call, and I'm like, okay, I've been there. I've had that issue at that level. Or I hear someone ask a question about something. I'm like, yep, okay, I can help with that. And it's a really, really satisfying feeling. It's a really rewarding feeling to have that moment of reflection to say, all right, I know where that person's coming from. I know the struggle they feel right now, and I'm able to help them. Because if I just went through all those struggles and all those difficulties and never helped anyone else along the way, well, then what's the point of it? Selfish gain? My own benefit? Well, my opinion is that any leader that's actually worth following, as someone who's a leader, they probably should be doing it for the greater good of the organization that they're leading. If they're not, they probably don't have many followers for very long. And so it was just kind of an eye-opener that, I'm still very, very young in the world of business and in life in general, right? But nonetheless, I have some experience under my belt. And it was a reminder to say, you know what, Daniel, you are qualified to lead the person I used to be. You're qualified to lead the guy who is a newly married guy who's trying to go out and chase a dream of having a business and be a business owner and be an entrepreneur and all that crap. And trying to figure out how to make it and trying to put himself out there on social media, or trying to, hire people who actually will believe in the dream and the vision that he has, or whatever it may be. I'm qualified to lead him. All right. I'm not qualified to lead somebody I've never been. I'm not qualified to lead an organization that has 100 individuals because I've never been there. I've never done that. And so I have to make sure that as I'm progressing through these challenges where I feel like I'm not qualified, right? I have that imposter syndrome that says, who am I? Who am I to be qualified for this? Who am I to give anybody advice? Who am I for someone to come to me and ask questions or ask my perspective or my opinion? Well, the question, or the answer to that question is, of who am I to be doing those things, is I am somebody who's gone through these things. I am somebody who's overcome the challenges and the obstacles and the difficulties that life and business is throwing at me. Because I'm still here. I'm still standing. The business is still thriving. The business is still growing. The people are still taken care of. And so whenever you're asking yourself, who am I to be able to be talking on this? Or who am I to be able to be answering these questions? Look at yourself in the mirror. Look back through the memories on your social media. Look back through the photos in your phone. See where you were 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago. You're qualified to do what you're doing now because of the things that you overcame in the past, because of the things that you learned along the way. And so you have to remind yourself that as you're pushing through new levels in life, there will be new challenges. There will be new insecurities. There will be new doubts. There will be new fears. There will be new everything that tells you that you can't do it, that tells you that you shouldn't do it. But if you take just a minute and look back at your track record about where you've come from, what all you've learned in the process, where you're at now, and what all opportunity lies ahead of you, you'll snap out of that real quick. Because you'll realize that the people around you that are counting on you to make the right decisions, to push through when things get hard, to have the discipline to do what you know you need to do, not just the motivation for when it feels good. You'll realize that all those people are counting on you. And if you can't tap into that, if you can't get past the imposter syndrome, and you can honestly speak from experience, and you can honestly teach from lessons learned that you've had in your life, then you will do nothing but provide value and benefit to all those around you. And the more that you do that, I believe, the more that the world, the life we live, the universe will reward you for helping others, right? Because you're not going to get anything out of life that you're not willing to give. So you're not going to get the help from the people who are above you and ahead of you in your life and your business if you're not willing to give it to the people who are coming up behind you. It's the natural progression of how things go. And so the more that you can tap into that, the more that you can remind yourself that you are qualified to lead the person that you used to be, whether that's the you from last week or the you from the last decade. You used to be them and you got past it. You grew, you progressed, you overcame. The more you can tap into that, the more fulfillment, the more excitement, the more enjoyment that you're going to get to experience. So my message today, guys, is that imposter syndrome is a guaranteed for any person who's trying to push and grow and progress in their life. But it is a requirement to overcome it if you want to see that progression happen. So guys, like I said today, that every new level you achieve, you're going to find new insecurities. The only way that you're going to progress is going through uncharted territories, and you are qualified to lead the person you used to be. So guys, I hope that provided a little bit of value for you today. If it did, drop a like, a comment, or something rather in the post below. Share it with somebody who you think might benefit from it. But nonetheless, guys, I always appreciate you tuning in and supporting us here. I mean, we're 144 episodes in. It's pretty crazy that we've pushed through this long. Apparently, there's a statistic that says most people who start a podcast don't get through like 2 or 3 or something like that. I don't know. But we're 144 in, and we ain't stopping anytime soon. As always, guys, reach out if you need anything. I'm happy to help you. If I can't help you, I'll point you in the right direction of somebody who can. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Keep kicking ass.